Hello and welcome back once again to Game Day from the UK, a Miami Heat UK live streaming show. We are here back today with the full stream team. We've got them all back after a couple of games with one or two missing. Sam, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad. How about you?
Yes, I'm very well, mate. Loving them glasses, mate. Loving them glasses. Awesome. John, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, thanks.
Great stuff. And Danny, missing last time. We missed you, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, good to be back, mate. Cheers.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Well, you return. We all return on the back of a strong performance. And again, we're picking up this same sort of streaky Heat. We're either very good or we're not very good. We've now won, I think, 7 or 6 of the last 7, something like that. But a really, really good performance against the Portland Trailblazers. We're here, obviously, today to talk about the Suns, but we always come back and reflect on the last game out. John, I'll start with you. My key highlights from the game was Kendrick Nunn coming straight back in to the starting lineup after being out of the rotation. And even though putting up modest numbers, 15 points, 4 assists, I was just tipping my hat to him. I thought that it was just a testament to the guy that we keep saying he's always ready. He comes in, he looks sharp, he looks energetic, he gave us some much needed points. What do you make of Kendrick Nunn's performance, mate?
Yeah, got to give credit to him because he was playing well and then just got pulled out of the lineup. And then just when needed, he had to step up, and he did. So yeah, I had to give props to him for just being professional, not doing any bad publicity or anything, that he's not getting any playing time and just doing his job well.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good point about no bad publicity, and that's one of the things that we've said a couple of times before that Spo loves about the guy is the fact that he's ready to go. He's plug and play. If he's out, there's no complaints. He still trains hard, etc. And when you look at some players going back, Dion Waiters, etc., James Johnson to not at first, but to a second extent, not coming back fit. That is a really good point to bring up, that there is never any complaints from him. Sam, I know you watched the game, less the first quarter, but you watched most of the game. Another really, really promising performance, again, better than a box score suggests, was Tyler Hero. I thought he was really, really good. Again, 14 points, 7 assists. It was a great game, but Tyler, I thought, was much better than that. His overall play, his IQ, I think it is really improving this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. There are certain instances in the game where I just felt like he made the right play at that point. Sometimes where he just drove to the basket, settling for an open shot and making them. So yeah, definitely improved. And another thing I was quite impressed with was the defense.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely loving it, and it's another game
breaking up a little bit. We're losing you a bit, Sam. Actually, Danny, I'll come on to you about that because that was the next point I was going to make.
Specifically,
is that we did it with defense, didn't we? This win again, another game where we've held the team to under 100 points. They finished off with 98. But yeah, as exactly what Sam said there, we did it with defense, didn't we? We won it there first off.
Yeah, I think it was the first win in a while where it felt like a dominant performance throughout the game, pretty much. Obviously the final score doesn't necessarily reflect that because it was kind of close, but you're right. We basically won that game off our defense. Quite a few nice steals, leading out in transition. And yeah, hats off to Bam as well, to keep those guys off the boards as best he could. We got some, good production from everyone in the front court in that regard. So no, it was a nice dominant win for a change, which was nice to see.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the score ended up being Heat by 9, which that doesn't really tell us the real story. It was almost heading for a blowout. And I know they was on the second night of a back-to-back, which, will always have something to do with it. But John, again, Danny touched on it there. We was always going to get out-rebounded by the Trailblazers. They're a good rebounding team. We aren't. Kanter came off of that ridiculous 30-rebound game the night before as well. But we did this, as I said, on defense, but with steals as well, as Danny just said, 12 Heat steals during that game.
That many? Blimey.
It was that many. That's how you're going to win games, isn't it?
Yeah, when I was watching their highlights, the guy the commentator said, it was like almost at the half that said the Blazers have 12 turnovers compared to Heat have 0. And Blazers are known like they're one of the best at not committing turnovers. I think they're like 11 per game, and we done that in the first half. And I've mentioned in the chat that post All-Star break that Heat are, I think, what was it, like top 10 in turnover percentage and second in forcing turnover percentage. So yeah, the defense won the game.
Yeah, definitely. We had a full squad for about 2 and a bit minutes, lads. I don't know where Sam is.
Also, want to mention quickly, sorry, that we held Dame to quite low points. And like you mentioned, Dan, the first half, Dame was throwing passes, and we were getting we were just like playing volleyball with them. We just kind of sorting them away or catching them and going out on the break. So the steals in the first half especially were awesome to see. Good energy.
Yeah, definitely. Sam, you good?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, buddy. All right, well, I'll let you settle for a second. Yes, as you said there, Danny, great point to bring up with Dame and CJ, to be honest. I think Lillard, 12 points off the top of my head. CJ, 17 points. He got 35 when we played them a couple of weeks earlier. So we held them to basically half of what they should be. So that's massive testament to the Heat. I'm glad you brought up turnovers as well, John, because they are the best, the number one in terms of turnover rate. They only average 11. They ended up turning the ball over 17 times in total in that game. So that's a credit to the Heat and their defense, as we said. One other point before we finish off on the Trailblazers game, Sam. Again, Jimmy Butler. We talk about him every single stream. We have to. Defensive rating. We are 100. We are 100. Heat have a defensive rating of 107 when Butler is on the court. That slips to 114 when he sits.
Wow!
Hats off to Giancarlo Navas for that. What more can you say about Jimmy Buckets?
I mean, I'm actually surprised that it's 107 when he's on the court to start with.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it's got loads of skewed data from the start of the season anyways. But yeah, he is the intensity of that team. Like, he is the glue, and it brings the team together. And it's not just him, because like when he's on the court, you see other players like actively on defense. I seen a stat this morning on Duncan Robinson's defense as well. And like, this is one thing that I'm quite particular about, because everyone thinks he's just a shooter, but he's really developed. And if you see that play he had against Carmelo Anthony, where he just ate him up on that ISO play. So yeah, I attribute that all to Jimmy Butler and what he brings to this team.
Yeah, that's a good point. Duncan Robinson, we've been having this debate for a while about paydays and what he's worth and everything else. But, this is the same thing about, we said, look, this shooting season that he had in his debut season was never maybe going to get replicated. He's showing how good he is still, especially since obviously trade deadline's finished. But it's noticeable now, Sam, isn't it, that how much better he is as an overall player, just on both ends, defensively as well.
Absolutely. Offensively, it's not just the shooting. He's cutting in the right places. He's dishing the ball to the right people at the right time. And his defense is impeccable. I think he's, second or third in the team in terms of isolation defense as well. And it's just fantastic to watch his development. And I attribute that to the Heat development staff. Yeah,
definitely. I'm loving the stats being brought out tonight, guys. This is good. We should see Dwayne Dedmon tonight, John. I think. I don't know if you've heard any different, but I think that the rumours are we're going to see a bit of him. That's good stuff, yeah?
Yeah, definitely, because playing against Ayton, so we need a big guy to just come in and give Bam some rest. And it's also a good way to just see how it is, how his like fitness level and stuff like that. So it'll be a good show for him to see if he needs minutes or not.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see him. I don't think we'll see too much, maybe 10, 11 minutes, something like that. But yeah, hopefully we'll see Dedmon debut, which would be great. Let's come on to tonight's game then against the Phoenix Suns. They are on a second night of a back-to-back after their win against Houston last night, which I didn't realise when we was giving predictions last time. So I might have to retract previous statements of saying no chance against Phoenix, no chance against Denver. But let's do the usual bits first. Get the admin out of the way. So Suns are 38 and 15, which is currently second in the West. just incredible. Just incredible. What a turnaround. Heat 28 and 25 now. 21 and 8 at home are Phoenix. Heat are 13 and 12 away. They are on a 9 and 1 in their last 10 games winning streak. We are now 6 and 4. The bookies, despite them playing last night, do still have Phoenix shading this. They are on -3 if the bookies. Danny, as I just said there, I sort of paused there to say when I was giving the records of just what a transformation this team is. Obviously, the signings of Chris Paul and Jay Crowder is always going to improve the team. But I think there's an argument to say that on paper, the chemistry, they could be the best team in the NBA.
I was literally just about to say exactly the same thing as what you said there, Dan. The off-season acquisitions of Jay Crowder and Chris Paul have just absolutely made this team into a juggernaut in the West. And I don't really know, what it is necessarily that's so special about the team now. Obviously they've got Devin Booker. They've got that sort of offensive weapon in Devin Booker, but just to have the capability of a playmaker of Chris Paul's level on that team, when you've got shooting guard and Devin Booker who can just light it up, is a recipe for success. And they've got some big bodies. They've got the Jay Crowder and the DeAndre Aytons as well. So it's a recipe for a great team, and they seem unstoppable right now.
Yeah, I saw a graphic about 3 or 4 days ago about Chris Paul before the team that he joins and their record against Chris Paul after he joins, and every single team that he's joined, he's made better.
I was actually going to mention that, and I got the thing here.
Oh, go for it! You've got the stats in front of you. I love this. This is fucking brilliant, guys.
So professional.
Hornets before Chris Paul, 22% winning percentage. After 46. Clippers 39%, then after 60. Rockets 67, then 79. Thunder 59, then 61. And the Suns went from 46 to 72.
That's insane.
Jesus.
That is insane. Do you know what? Even though that it's the smallest one, that Thunder record, it only went up by 2%. But that was supposed to be a tanking season.
Yeah.
And he still made them better. I mean, I remember when he was going from Houston, everyone knew he was going from Houston. And there was the strong rumours about the Heat acquiring him. And I imagine thinking, look, love the player, but I don't want them to go anywhere near that.
I just thought it was too expensive at that point.
Well, that's it. And I just look back now and I think, bloody, can you imagine, Sam, Jimmy Butler and Chris Paul on the same team?
Bro, you could only dream at this point.
Yeah, that's it.
This is arguably his best season so far, too.
Yeah.
Arguably.
And he's 35 years old. He's earning...
I think he's having an MVP season. I feel like that's not being talked about as much as it should be.
Yeah, I don't think that's unfair. I think he deserves it. I think if he can lead this team to an NBA Finals, then I think you've got to struggle to say why not. That's it. So yeah, he's just been incredible. 35 years old, earning every penny of that Mahusiv contract. John, I'll come back to you quickly. The first stat that sort of jumps off the page when I was doing a little bit of research this game is the Suns are a top 5 offensive team. They're also a top 5, I think it's a top 5 defensive team.
They are just above Miami.
Yeah, we've got our work cut out tonight, haven't we, to get this W, despite the fact that they're on this second night of a back-to-back. What are the keys to winning this game?
I think be Jimmy carrying as well most of the time. I think we would need a really good Bam game as well. But I think we would win on defense because if they're on top 5 on offense, then we would need to stop that and just play the way we did against Portland and just stop their key guy and then let Jay Crowder beat us.
Yeah, Jay Crowder, by the way, last night against Houston, hit 20... Sorry, hang on a sec. Where was it? So 26 points in the first half last night. Didn't add to it in the second half. 26 points in the first half, including a career 8 threes. Jay Crowder.
Yikes.
Woo! Jay. Crazy. Well, hopefully he's used all his streaking luck out tonight. We don't see any of that. Danny, both teams are quite slow. 27th, the Heat are in pace. The Suns are 24th, so this will suit both teams. But do you think that, again, because... Again, they may be a little bit jaded. Although, having said that, Chris Paul, I looked at his last couple of games, 27 minutes he played last night, 25 minutes the game before that. So that's not, that's not excessive, but is the key to this, try and speed them up. And, that gives you the best chance of winning.
It's difficult. I think if you can play a similar sort of defense to the way we played last game, and try and use that sort of those steals and in transition to get some easy buckets, is going to be helpful. It's going to be difficult when you're dealing with a team that is so good on offense. But we're going to match up okay. I think it's not it's not a team that we can't match up with. Especially considering that we've seen in the previous game that Trevor Ariza has been supposed putting him on sort of guards and things, right? So, and he seems to hold up pretty well. So I think you can maybe hide sort of Kendrick Nunn on well, I don't know, not say hide, but maybe sort of put Kendrick on Chris, and then maybe sort of put Ariza on Booker. I don't know if that's, or Jimmy on Booker. I think we match up okay. So, but yeah, it's just going to be a question of can we score more points than the other team because our offense isn't that good. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm actually optimistic about this one.
Good. Okay. Well, we'll come on to predictions in a couple of minutes. The Bam versus Aiton matchup is quite exciting. Sam, Bam's mid-range has been great again after that initial start of the season where everything was just not even touching net. It was just going straight in. Then we had that little slump, but the last few games especially, I think he's shooting over 50% from mid-range. Do you think he can get sort of drop off a little bit of Aiton and continue that streak? I think that's something that can be exploited.
Absolutely. I think Bam's got to bring everything he's got to this game, and if it includes the mid-range, then we've got to see it. But yeah, we're going to need a lot of offense from not just Bam to get this game done, because I'm pretty confident with the defense on the team. In terms of like the previous Suns game that I've watched, they do a load of like double screening. I saw a bit of Spain pick and roll in the last game I watched. And the one thing about the Heat, they with the switching that quick, and like they're good at like moving as a unit. So, like when they help, it's like effectively done. So I'm expecting to see some of that today. But on offense, I don't know what I'm going to see. But I just hope we get like a good game from Bam, Jimmy. We got to get at least 10 from Kendrick Nunn. I'm hoping a couple threes from Trevor Ariza as well.
Yeah. I think that again, it's a bit like I said at the start of the show here. I think that Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Herro are going to have a really important role in this, because if they're arguably our two sort of quickest players, the youthful, exploit. They both drive to the basket well now. It's something they both added to their game really well this season. So I think that if we try and pick that pace up, it's going to have to go through them quite a lot. So I think that they could be the key to this. Sort of final question then, John. Again, Phoenix, one stat that sort of jumps off the page a bit. They are number one in the league in terms of assists, so they share the ball very well. 27.3 assists per game. I don't know how you stop that, really.
Mainly like the way we do, just switch and then scramble all over the place.
Yeah.
So I think this will be more of a team effort, just scrambling all, try and rely on like Duncan and Kendrick, just keep switching and jumping out to the guys. Being in passing lanes as well. I looked up for the Blazers, we had like 21 deflections. Wow. And since getting Oladipo, our deflections just kept going up then. So I think that will be a key point in this game.
Going to be a lot of trapping tonight as well, I can imagine.
It's going to be a scrappy one.
Just picking up from last game.
Yeah. Just intensity,
Yep, absolutely. Actually, just coming on to Oladipo there, this seems to be a little bit more news than what we had last time. Is that not necessarily that maybe this is season ending, which is promising, but they're actually now just trying to, the second opinion, etc., is maybe to try and find out the risks involved here. Not necessarily can he play through pain, because I think that's maybe the idea here, is that that isn't necessarily the question. It's just, if he plays, what's the risk? So I think 5 Reasons have just done a podcast about it, which I haven't listened to yet. I don't know if any of you have, but that does seem a little bit more promising, Danny, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The big question was, is he going to be available in the playoffs? We still don't know the answers to that. But I think the key to our postseason run is having Vic on the team. Yeah. I think that he's going to have a lot of opportunity to study film, get more accustomed to the team, And the last game that he played, it seemed to be gelling. It seemed to be working. There were a couple of sort of,
It was beautiful.
there were a couple of sort of dodgy sort of turnovers in the first couple of games he had, but started to fit in really well. So you would think that if we can get him back, hopefully that he can just slot right in, remember everything, get used to the system, quickly up to speed, and then sort of hopefully we can make a long postseason run.
Yeah, the fingers crossed. I mean, I would like to think now, I mean, we've only got 19 games. I think it's 19, might even be 18. Anyway, 18, 19 games left of the season. A ton of games coming up close. I think 8 games in the next 11 days. Just insane. I don't really see the point now, unless he's obviously that it's all proven that there's no worries, there's no concerns, then fine. But I don't mind him now, even if it's fine, to just write off the regular season and getting ready for the postseason. Because if we can have a fit and healthy Vic for the postseason, that's a different animal. So fingers crossed for Vic. I really, really hope. I really did start to feel the worst, but the last day or two, the last 24, 48 hours, maybe drip feeding through that this isn't the end of his Heat career, which let's hope that's the case. Right, guys, let's go around and do some predictions. I think we're all going to say the same sort of thing here. This is going to be a tight, scrappy affair. Sam, I'm going to start with you. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it'll be scrappy. Mid-90s, Heat by 3.
Okay, good stuff. Danny?
I'd say 101, 104 Heat win.
So Heat by 3 twice. Like it. John?
Yeah, I say Heat by 4 as well.
Wow,
Heat
very
by
optimistic.
4. I love this. Yeah, I love this. Right, well, I'm going to retract my previous statement on the last podcast, on the last live show, to say that I didn't fancy us at all. But yeah, I think given not only the fact that they have a second night of a back-to-back, which I didn't know, but more importantly, pushing the fact that the Heat played really, really well last game. As I said, one of our best performances. The chemistry seems great there. The spirit seemed great. Love Jimmy Butler and Bam when Bam missed his free throw. That was hilarious. I think the chemistry there between them two is brilliant. Also, you cracked me up with the post game comments about Derrick Jones Jr. Bless him. So I think that the camp is looking good. I think this again a 4-game road trip. That always helps with team morale. So I am going to be swayed over to the other side. So I'm saying Heat by 2. Again,
Okay.
mid 90s. So we're full house. Full house,
Nice.
no bias here at all. Love it. Another 3 a.m. tip tonight. We will be there tonight, so follow me again at the Miami Heat UK for in-games comms. It was tough last time out, especially going straight back to work the next day, only about 2 hours sleep. But it was great because we won and we played well, so I don't mind. We will not be back tomorrow, I'm afraid. We are not doing a back-to-back game day from the UK. I've got some prior engagements on, but I have not yet decided whether or not I'm going to be up for the in-game comms tomorrow night. But definitely follow me there tonight. Please get involved if you're live. Keep me company. Until then, everyone, enjoy the game. Subscribe, as always, to Miami Heat UK TV. It will be there forever if you do miss it tonight. Enjoy the game, guys. We'll see you on the next game, which I think is Sunday. We'll let you know. Enjoy the game. Let's go and get this dub, Miami.
Yes, let's go.